to the next episode of the Doodle Crew. Woohoo! I like that it just gets higher and higher every time I introduce it. Yeah, I'm super excited. This one is fun. Also, it's a Sunday afternoon, which is kind of new and different for us. So, relaxing on the second half of your weekend and coming in. But we're going to be doing some fun creature mashups today. So, we've had some very awesome suggestions coming out of the chat for either different creatures mashed up with fruits or different creatures mashed together, and I think it's finally time to mash some critters, which is a weird sentence to say. Doodle Crew, what up, Bean? Welcome. So we're going to do the thing. We're going to go around, introduce ourselves, tell people where we can find them, and then explain the two things that you're smashing together. So Nicole, I'm going to start with you.
Hi, hello. I'm going to be watercoloring, and I'm going to be mashing up a fawn and a strawberry. Because they both have spots. So, also, you can find me at Mayor Squish on the internet.
Yay! Oh, I'm excited. I'm also just excited for the watercolor. That's going to be good. Yeah. All right, Jeff, who are you and what are you mashing up?
I'm Jeff, and I am mashing up a couple of various fruits and some sea creatures here. So we got a banana shark and a strawberry fish and a starfruit fish.
Ah, nice. Ah, like it. All right, and Kristen.
My name's Kristen. I go by Kia or Kia Creations everywhere. Mainly, you can find me on Instagram. This is Jinx. She's my co-pilot for today. She's just hanging out right there. And I am going to also be doing a couple creatures. Here I have a armadillo with a avocado. So if anyone can think of like a good word portmanteau for armadillo-cado, I don't know. I also kind of got interested in doing a sea creature. Mine was a dolphin banana or banana. So once again, if anyone has a portmanteau, and then possibly a pineapple lion, but we'll see if we get to that one because I wasn't really having a good time with it. So that's what I'm having fun with today. I was especially excited for the Armadillo. At me in the comments.
I like Armacado. It sounds like an armored carrier, but I like it. I enjoyed that strawberries and bananas are a theme because I am also doing a banana, but I am mashing mine up with a seal. So I'm doing a banana seal. Also looking for chat. If you've got great ideas for how we can smash these words together and make new mashup names or funny puns, yes, we're here for it. So give us all your funny animal mashed up puns that we did. You can also find me across the internet at a swan named Emily. Also, as always, throw a follow to at Doodle Crew Draw on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook if you want to see more posts of the art from each episode, get updates about when we're going live, because despite my best efforts, I've never published a public schedule about our upcoming dates, so you just have to wing it. So you should follow us. Also, if you want to head over to our awesome link tree that has all the contact information for all the artists that you see on stream, so you can follow us there. So, yeah. Oh dear, Bean. Oh dear. Too dark. Yeah, this is light and fun. This is Sunday afternoon. The sun is shining. Like, it should be nice. I'm worried, man. You spend one night playing games with Steve and it gets real dark.
I think this was before that, which is scary. Yeah, no.
I'm trying to think. I should have pulled it up, but we had QBQ. Oh, Bean, that is dark. I mean, funny. You get points for being funny, but also real dark. Yes, Steve is the scariest. Oh. Also, hi, welcome, Soapbox Clouds. Thanks for hanging out. I very much appreciate you letting me commandeer your fiance as often as I do. makes me very happy.
He enjoys the breaks.
So I guess my first question is, because everybody kind of said that they didn't really have like specific puns for all of these, was it the shape of the fruit or the shape of the animal? Like, what was your initial inspiration for what you were going to mash up? Or are we just winging it on the fly? Because that's also acceptable.
Yeah, I'm just winging it. Much like most of my life, I'm just winging it.
For the armadillo, I went for the shape of an avocado as well as its like hard, like outer, I don't know, skin, I guess you call it, and then like the softer inner interior. I don't know. I felt like it was akin to an avocado.
Yeah.
For the dolphin, kind of a fun thing. I don't remember the book series, but there was like this book series that kids could subscribe to way back in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, and it had a bunch of like activities that parents and kids could do together, and one of them was making animals out of fruits and vegetables to get kids more interested in like eating healthy, and one of them was a banana dolphin. So I remembered that, and that was just like, they had like crab apples and poodle broccoli and penguin eggplants and just all kinds of stuff that you could do with like the ways that you cut up vegetables to make them adorable for kids. So that's kind of what inspired. I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, oh man, I want to do a dolphin banana like my childhood. I never got any of those, but I like the pictures in the book.
Yeah. Nope, I get it. Like, I feel like it's one of those where my mom looked at something like that. She's like, that's so much extra work. No, just eat your vegetables and fruit. And I'd be like, okay. And that's as far as it went. Aw. We love you too, Soapbox Clots. We love that you're here. Also, I feel like as you're describing that, Kristen, it's so much like the precursor to what is now like Pinterest moms who do all this amazing craft stuff. And I was like, I don't understand how you're a mom and do all of these things. Like, I can't even do half of those things, and I have half of the responsibility.
They grew up with those books.
Yeah. Forget, were we talking about it maybe on Friday or maybe last Doodle Crew? We got talking about how like cereal was always pushed so hard, like cereal and all the breakfast stuff, and like eating this whole humongous breakfast, and then come to find out like you really shouldn't actually be eating that much grain or bread and stuff like that. And I was like, but it was so drilled into my brain with the food pyramid that we were initially taught.
I don't know what the conclusion to that conversation was, but my guess would be that it's easily marketable and cheap to manufacture at a high rate.
Yep. Well, I do think there is. Soapbox Clots in chat says the food pyramid was alive from Big AG. Yeah, Big Ag. I also think like the actual nutritional value of things grows and evolves and changes, and we learn more about like what high fructose corn syrup does to our bodies and stuff like that, and when it is naturally occurring and when it is genetically occurring, and it's all that fun science that I super don't understand.
Oh, I dropped
So
I think I got distracted, Nicole. Was yours shape first or fruit first or just winging it?
I actually didn't say mine. So I was very uninspired, which was weird because I was so excited when we got to sign up for this episode. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And then like 2 days ago, I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. So I went to a website that is like a random animal generator, and I kind of went through a couple and I was like, yeah, this is giving me nothing. But then a fawn came up and I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. I kind of want to draw something cute. And then I was thinking of, like, because they have pretty big ears for their body, I was thinking maybe some sort of leaves. But then I was also looking at the spots on the back, and I was like, which fruit has spots? Strawberries. So
I
don't
like
know.
it. No, it's good. And it's funny because I feel like, at least for me, and I can't speak for you, but when it comes to like getting inspired for what we're going to do or what we're going to draw, sometimes it's just like I'm looking through reference photos or I'm looking up different things and I'm just like, and then all of a sudden like your brain just clicks in and be like, yes, I know what I'm doing. But you
Yep.
need that, like, just that little bit of push to kind of get it going.
Absolutely.
Hello, Simkin. Welcome. Well, and I'm not sure if this is the same for a lot of you, but I definitely have the moments where, like with this one, I didn't totally have it planned out, but I had the very specific shape idea in my head. Like that was already set in there, and I just had to then kind of work it out. And once in a while, like ideas will just be set, and I was like, nope, this is exactly what it needs to be, and it makes perfect sense. And other times I'm like, I kind of have a roundabout idea, but it's still very squishy, and I need to either sketch it a whole bunch to get it to formulate or look at other references to try and figure out what it is that I'm trying to do.
I think that's the benefit of going for shape rather than pun. I mean, I've not done the pun thing, but I imagine that's so much harder if you have to fit two things that don't have similar shapes or similar design.
Yeah. Too big. Also, Bean says, the building I'm in at the moment for my forging classes used to be the warehouse for messed up candy, the stuff they don't deem sellable. So there would be towers of crates of tubs of old candy and corn syrup, some of them sitting long enough to have degraded back into the syrup. Gross. That's gross. I could see losing my appetite for some of that. Also, Simkin, I'm pretty sure it was lovely Lady Dell who first suggested our creature mashup. So I was gonna try and pull up what the sorry. Sarah Will shared an entire like funny, fun wordplay. I'm
Yeah,
trying
this
to find
seems very much Sarah Will's wheelhouse. She's always so good with the cute animals and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's not daunting at all to be on a project with her, having to draw animals. I'm like, why though? You don't want me on this project. You should just draw the animals.
No, I didn't think about that.
No, it's good. It's a lot more fun now. Because, I'm not riddled with as much guilt and self-esteem issues as I was in college. The way you said that, Bean, like, well, at least the raccoons and rats enjoy the sugar. Like, that doesn't make it better. That's not a happy. That's not a happy thing. Oh gosh, scrolling back through our art share, and I'm just like, we share a lot of weird stuff. I'm trying to remember. There was a like a little puppy dog that was crossed with a watermelon, but I can't remember what the pun was. So that's okay.
I remember seeing that, but I can't remember.
Yep. Oh, don't make. Yep. So. My gosh, your little strawberry fish is so stinking cute. Time to focus. Okay, so again, question for the class. Two-parter. One, what is your favorite animal to draw? And two, what is the animal you feel the most confident drawing? They can also be the same.
That's a difficult question.
I try.
I feel like I'm most confident drawing elephants because I've just done it so much lately. But I like drawing birds, even though I'm not good at it. Because birds are funny.
They're very, their construction is very fascinating to me because, take away their feathers and their bone structure doesn't match what their feathers show, and it confuses my brain.
Yep. Yeah.
They also have no arms, and that's just funny looking.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been watching a bird nest cam on YouTube. First of all, they grow up so fast. But also, when they're born, they're just tiny pink worms, and they just look so ugly. That sounds bad, but they're not pretty.
It's true.
But, seeing them grow into their feathers is really interesting.
I like the way you draw birds.
Have you seen many of my birds? You've seen the one for sure, which was good, but...
I think you showed me some of the old ones in your sketchbook. So.
Oh boy.
I've seen some. Also, like I said, I don't draw animals a lot. I'm not going to throw shade at anybody because it is challenging. So what about you, Jeff?
I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't really draw too many animals. I guess cats are probably where I draw the most. Just due to them being so popular, I guess. But I'll tell you what's the hardest thing to draw is a horse. because I had to do a horse, and I think I drew that thing 100 times, and it still doesn't look like a horse.
Yep. Nope. And like an idiot, I decided to draw a horse last Doodle Crew because I was like, "What? No, I can draw horses." I was like, "I've made a terrible mistake."
What have I done?
I also love that it doesn't matter what animation you're watching, save for, like Kristen mentioned, Last Unicorn or My Little Pony. Like the majority of the time when horses show up,
They're dogs.
they look so wonky. Like,
well, they've turned them into dogs now. Like if you, especially in Tangled, Maximus he's a dog. He just looks like a horse. So I think that's just one way the animators are like, I'm not animating a horse. Let's turn it into a dog.
This is much easier. Can we do this instead?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I always think of there's a ridiculous episode of Batman the Animated Series where Bruce Wayne gets amnesia and ends up on a farm, and there's a whole bunch of shots with horses in it, and they're so bad. Like they're just animated so like they're drawn weird and animated weird. And I'm just like, oh, that's not how horses look though. But then again, I try and draw it, and I was just like, nope, my bad. You're right.
I would say a horse is what I feel the most comfortable drawing. And I will admit that I judge harshly like shows and cartoons and like web comics and things like that. Like I always look at the horse like, well, everything else is drawn beautifully, but then the horse proportions are all messed up, and I get very uppity. I blame the fact that I grew up on a horse farm and I've been surrounded by horses my whole life. So it's like, no, that's not how a horse looks. Like, come on, it's basic anatomy, but then they are weird, wonky, like horribly designed animals. And I forget that sometimes. Every part of a horse moves when it walks or runs, and it's like impossible to make them look. But I do really enjoy drawing horses, and I feel the most confident with ungulates like horses and deer and things like that.
Oh, that's very cool.
My favorite would be birds, though, or fish, because they have the nice S curve, and that's just super fun to draw. That really nice soft S curve that both fish and birds kind of share, because their spine is their tail, is their head, is their beak, or fins, or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, to that point, I think any time I'm going to draw an animal, if I can utilize the bean shape, which is one of my all-time favorite simple shapes, like, yeah, I'll do that, because that's when I was like, oh, okay, I feel safe here. This is good. I can do this. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I do draw cats a lot. I like drawing cats. I have been drawing cats since I was very little. I think I'm better at it now than I was then. Oh, well, thank you, Bean. Yes. So, again, like an idiot, because it's how I do, I took art that I really like to do and be like, hey, you know what? I'll do Patronus portraits, which literally means I have to draw an animal for every person's Patronus. This should be fine, right? I can draw animals. Yeah. Now, luckily, because of the nature of the Patronus and the way that I'm drawing it on the brown paper, like I can give them that kind of ethereal, like coming out of the wand look, so I don't always have to draw like their back legs if I don't want to. So it's not as super realistic as it might be, but there's definitely when we had it, oh gosh, many years ago, but there was a wizarding weekend that happened in a town near me where I went up, and I was doing commissions for Patronuses right there on the spot. And it was definitely like some people went by their Pottermore official thing, but some people are just like, nope, I really like this animal, so I want you to draw this animal. So not only like on the fly trying to get commissions done for a lot of people, but also having to on the fly be like, how do I draw this animal that I've never drawn before? So yeah, fun. But thank you, Bean. I do like doing those. I got to draw a flying squirrel. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Also, I was thinking about it, Jeff. The print that you made for the local Comic-Con when Jake the Snake was the guest, and I was so jealous because your snake head was so good. And I was just like, how did he do that? It's so good.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, I guess. I don't know. I guess I do draw lizards quite a bit, though.
Lizards are cool.
I also think a lot of what I end up doing when it comes to animals is super, super simplifying them because I'm going for, like, not to the extent of like Hello Kitty or something like that, but to a much more kind of like squishmallow version of them. Like, I'm going to up the cuteness, so I'm not adhering to the actual skeletal structure of said creature.
Like keeping the parts that are cute and eliminating the ones that are not.
Exactly. Like, well, this is useful to me. This is not. So
Yeah.
you don't get bones anymore. Oh, you know what? This is such a weird thing. So ever since Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and again, talking about Comic-Con, we did a jam piece mashup where we all drew different characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I drew Rocket. And since then, like, I drew a ton of raccoons. Like, I drew a ton that year, and then for commissions later on, and like actually got kind of comfy drawing raccoons, which was such a weird, like, I've never drawn them that much before, and now I'm just like, yeah, they're fine. I could draw raccoons. Sure. I forget, Jeff, who did you do on that piece?
I don't know if I was in that one or not.
Okay.
There were a couple that I wasn't in. I can't remember if that was one of those. Yeah, because I think I did the Age of Ultron one, and I did the Suicide Squad one, but I don't think I did the Guardians one.
Okay.
I think that was the year I did the Elmira print
Lineup with all the different. Yeah, I think you might be right. Also, I'm a little upset because that feels like a really long time ago.
It really does too. I've been told since then that I should take people off of it. That was before the Brian Williams debacle.
Oh,
like, you should take him off. I'm like, why should I? He's still from here.
Something that says that we have to, it's not always a celebration of everybody who came here. It's just an acknowledgement. Like, yeah. Also, I think now is some of it, like, while I don't mind going back and reworking old pieces at a time, there are some of them I'm just like, I don't care. It's not worth it to me to spend more time on this piece. I would rather make something new. Like, that can live where it lives in the past when I made it, and I'd rather spend time on something else.
Something like that piece, like, it's done. It's been done. Like, there's no demand for it anymore, and it's no longer the whatever 150th anniversary or whatever it was.
Right.
I was like, I'm pretty sure we're good with it. Whoever wants it has it. There's really no demand for me to, like, let me go ahead and change it, and then everybody can have it again. Nobody's gonna do that. And I don't think anybody bought it and went, I'm gonna take this guy off it myself.
I just imagine they put just like a little post-it over it. Be like, just no. I like the red. Just no.
It's just a stick figure, and it says somebody else next to it.
Yes. Oh, Bean. Like, really, really quiet, like you can't hear him, or because it's weird because he was coming in super loud to me, but yeah, let me know because we can
talk directly into the microphone if you like.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to turn up a little bit, Jeff, because I want people to be able to hear you.
I'm gonna crank it. Is this better? It might be super loud again. Hello, check.
All right, Bean, let us know. Yeah, I mean you're not coming through too super loud for me, so that's good.
Okay.
What else? Yes, I like that. Del says just a little, sunglasses and mustache over top of him. Be like,
yep.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. Speaking of derpy animals, I'm just giggling at my own little derpy animal face that I've got going here. That's better. Okay, cool. Thank you, Bean. I feel like at a certain point, Bean, we should just have you bring you into StreamYard at the start so you could listen to all the audio and let us know, and then go live.
Official QA.
Yes. Well, we were talking about it when we all first got in that we swear, every time we do a new episode of this, we have to go back in and readjust all of our audio because somehow it either doesn't save the settings or it just decides to change it time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, technology! Exactly, Randall. So much yay for technology. It definitely doesn't stress me out all the time. So I feel like I'm picking on you, Jeff, but I have another question that I'm going to start with you on. Okay. So something I've noticed, and I don't know if this is just because I'm teaching art, and so the kids that I have are all art excited kids, but I feel like there's something about kids and drawing animals where there is a freedom. They're not worried if they get the anatomy right. They're just excited to draw animals, and it doesn't matter how they turn out. Do you see that in your kids? I know you said they aren't as artsy as you, but have you seen that in especially their younger elementary art?
They don't care. I don't even think it even matters about animals. They don't really care about getting proportions right until they get a little bit older. My 12-year-old's much more worried about making things look right, and I've sat him down and I've showed him tricks and how to get stuff in 3D and stuff like that, and he really utilizes that very well. My 8-year-old has been watching YouTube videos, and they do how to draw on YouTube, so he's doing all that, and he's not really concerned with it looking perfect at all. He follows the step by step, and it's done, and he's like, here it is, it's done, I did it, I drew it, and he's more inclined to be artistic than any of the other two. All three of them, it's him. Because he's got it down. 4-year-old's not really into doing drawing too much. Actually, today he was like, I want to draw, so we got some stuff out earlier. But he's just still in the scribble phase. So yeah. Everything's just like a blob on the page, just getting color down. But yeah, I don't think they're really too I think it's like a thing you develop as you get older. Like you want something to look right, quote unquote, right.
Yeah.
And then after you get that down, as you start developing, as if you continue on as an artist and you want to develop your own style, you kind of see, okay, what can I do to make this not look perfect? Unless you're a photorealistic artist, but unlike them, I'm a minimalist, so I'm trying to see what I could, like you said earlier, what can I cut out of here so I can still get the bare minimum shapes in here and still come across as what it needs to be. And then I'll add a little bit of detail on top of that. So it's, I'm kind of trying to cheat reality, so to speak.
Constantly. I'm constantly trying to do that.
So it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like a roller coaster. Like you start out drawing, you don't really care. Then you go up to, you want to really see how things work and get things looking quote unquote right. And then you say, okay, well now how can I make this look like mine instead of exactly what it's supposed to be? Unless, again, you're going for photorealism, in which case you kind of just perfect that, realistic look.
No, I like that. And I see it in the younger kids that I teach. Like there's just that, it's exactly what you said there's just that like desire to get it down on the page. Like that's the motivation, that's the push. And there is pride in that. Like once it's out, like you made a thing. And like, I don't think you are burdened with that critical brain that then says like, well, here's all the things that are wrong about it because it doesn't look like reality. Like, again, it's the thing that I think is so cool. They do studies where at a certain point in your developmental brain growth, like there is a point where you can no longer draw like a child, quote unquote. You can be an inexperienced artist who doesn't have a lot of the technique, but you can't ever like revert your brain back to the unburdened nature that it was when you were a child creating art. I need to find the article. But I think it was also talking about people who had suffered like traumatic brain injuries and like working through to them with introducing art into it. And they were finding like a couple of people who were adults, but who had enough trauma done that it had reverted their brain back. Like they would draw more like children, as opposed to if you asked like one of my adult friends to draw like a kid, like you can kind of try to draw how a kid draws, but it's not the same. Like your motivation isn't the same and the final result isn't the same. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, it just fascinates me. And I miss being that unburdened.
Yeah.
And so many things. But now, Kristen, I know you deal more with like college kids. Do you still see like that for what art you're teaching? Do you get to see like that freedom of expression, or is it much more focused like we were when we were in school, where this is my career and this is going to be my life?
Unless they're specifically drawing animals, like that's what they want to focus on art-wise, all of my students are terrified of drawing animals. Just like in a blanket sense, they have all realized how hard animals are, how hard human anatomy is, and then you add animals to it, and it's just very, very few of them feel comfortable outside of ones who, like I said, specifically went into art because they want to draw animals. And whether that's like, and those are always two groups. It's either the Disney sort of DreamWorks, Pixar-esque animals where it's like the big, fluffy, cartoony, happy, or it's the, for lack of a better word, like fairy community, which is actually, give them props, they have a lot of anatomy to learn because it's both human and animal. So they're actually the ones that are the most brave and the most, put forth the most effort to get a hold of the animal thing. But yeah, all the other ones are like, you want me to draw a what? No. It's box with legs is pretty much, and then they'll do whatever the simplest thing is, like a fish or like a dog or something. Yeah. So they kind of exactly what you were saying with you can't draw as you did in a child. And then of course they're just new enough to art to have realized that art be hard, and they psych themselves out of it very easily.
Yeah, it's
which is
it is
tragic.
deceptive at times, though. Like, I mean, even as someone who's obviously been doing art for a long time, like there are times where I'm just like, holy crap, this is really hard. Why do I do this? I'm like, oh yeah, because I love it, but it's really hard.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
So I guess throwing it to chat with Simkin and Dell. Does Glowy draw a lot of animals? I don't know if she's a big drawer as is, but is that something that you notice with the art that she creates? Yeah, big feels with that, Randall. He says, I definitely feel like I draw like a child some days. Uh-huh. Yeah. I definitely am childish in many of the things that I choose to draw because they make me laugh. Oh, all about meerkats. Okay, also, but can we just talk about how much, like, as a kid, like finding out about a new animal, or again, as we talked about when we were little, like getting a new zoo books or zoo magazine and getting like super invested in one specific type of animal. Like, I was all about that orca whale life. Like, I drew killer whales all the time because I just thought they were so cool. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, but all of a sudden I was just like, nope, I'm in my orca whale phase. This is what we're doing. But I miss that. I miss that just crazy, like, this is everything I care about right now.
When obsession was okay to have.
Yes. Well, and I'm a lot like you, Kristen, in that, like, I grew up, we had horses and we had mercats. Oh, okay. Mercats. I apologize. The mermaid cat. I grew up on a farm with horses, so we had the big Percheron horses. So it'd like work draft horses, but it definitely it influenced my art a lot because I was always drawing horses because they were right there.
Horses also have a really nice sense of accomplishment. It's like, yeah, I can draw a horse. Specifically hooves.
Oh yeah.
It's the horse hooves that always like, they're so pretty when they're done right.
And so bad when they're not. Little fat boy. Yeah, and I know definitely like a lot of mine were always like unicorns and flying unicorns. Like, it was very important to me that my horses were not only accurate but magical as well. Like, this is important to me as a child.
So many magical horses to choose from too.
I know it.
Very versatile magical creature.
Also, I cannot get over how much I love that avocado texture that you got, Kristen. It looks so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't realize when I chose this that it would kind of be like a texture study. And I was like, well, I'm into it. I don't really do textures all that often, so.
So Simpkins says, I remember back when I was a kid waiting for something to do in my dad's store, I started trying to write a comic book, and since I couldn't really draw really well, my superhero was a lightning guy who was composed mostly of squiggles. See, that's the, like, ingenuity and creativity of kids, where they're just like, it's not the, I'm disheartened because I can't draw this thing. I'm just like, well, I'll just make it this, and then that's how the story, like, oh, it's so good. I just want to, like, model it and be like, give it back. I want that as an adult.
Oh, that's true. Kids were the ultimate work within the box that you have available. Where it's like, well, I can't draw a this, so I'll make it a this instead.
Yep. Also, one of the classes that I got to teach over the summer one year was a comic book class. And it was mostly for, I would say, middle-aged kids. Middle school-aged kids. There we go. Not middle-aged kids.
I'm a middle-aged kid.
I am a middle-aged kid.
Same.
But it was so, like, that was one of the most fun classes I've ever taught. Because I was just like, I love all of these comics. Like, you guys are so creative. It's so fun. And it just, I was like, I just want to sit and watch. Like, just go. Just work. Pretend I'm not here. I just want to see more. I love it so much. Hi, hello, good morning. Well wishes to you, he who is Steve. Thanks for hanging out. Simpkin says, when I'm teaching kids how to make platformers for the first time, I create my spike graphics just using the square tool, and I have this ninja guy I draw every time, and he looks great. Yeah, I think that's very smart. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I love it. Also, hi, Diana. Welcome. Says, middle-aged kids. Well, to quote a wise man, there's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes. It's true.
Yeah, that epiphany when you realize you're an adult, and that doesn't really mean that you stop loving the things that you love. I don't know, maybe not everyone went through that epiphany, but I definitely did. The whole, like, wait, I can still love these, like, Saturday morning cartoons, and I can still love all this stuff that I thought I'd have to give up when I was a child.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I definitely went through it because I think, unfortunately for me, I think I needed, I hate it, but I needed, like, the okay from society that it was all right to still be that way. Like, it was a weird thing because, like, going to college made sense. Like, getting a degree to do this art made sense. And then I think I just didn't understand the realization that I was like, oh no, you can keep being, like, this enthusiastic person about all this stuff you love as an adult. It doesn't have to stop. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Acceptable. Culturally acceptable, I guess is the... Plus, I think when you start telling other adults that you got a degree in art and you're going to be an artist, like, they automatically just like, oh, so you don't intend to grow up? And I was like, exactly. And you're jealous. Nope. I have zero plans to mature more than I'm at right now. Also, yes, Diana, the doctor gets it right so much of the time. Also, save reminder for everybody.
Where's that color?
Okay, well, I'm realizing that there might be a new favorite animal because drawing this chonky banana seal is delightful to me. He's so chonky. I love it. Oh.
I do love the new healthy respect for chunky animals.
I know, and I feel so bad. Like, I know when I like see pictures of cats that are super overweight, like I know how unhealthy it is, but they're so ridiculously cute. Like, I can't take it. Like, it's so chonky. Like, I just want to squish you. Ah, see, Bean, that would have been smart. Bananial. Bananial. Nailed it. Nailed it. Also, I will say, as always, everyone in chat, if you like this topic, this mashup, we can definitely bring this back. Yeah, like Kristen said earlier, I definitely think we need to get Sarah Will in on this because it's literally in her wheelhouse.
She would be just like drawing so many animals so quickly.
She would do the whole fruit bowl. Let's be honest. That's who Sarah is.
You are correct.
Mayor Squish is drawing a strawberry fawn. Yes, absolutely. Oh, a doughberry! That sounds so cute. Doughberry also sounds like something out of Willy Wonka. Also, this question is open to the whole chat, but especially the three of us who decided to draw something banana related. 1, are you a banana fan and or consumer? And 2, what is your optimum banana color? Like, when is your banana ripe and you want to eat it? Because I have very specific thoughts, but I'm curious.
I like bananas, but they don't like me. So I get indigestion every time I eat a banana, which is sad, but it prevents me from eating them most of the time.
Yeah, that would.
But I prefer mine to be yellow, like not green, not overripe, but yellow.
I like mine a little bit more on the green side, like right when they are finishing being green and starting to turn that nice yellow color. I think because they're just a little bit more firm and they're not as sweet. And I don't like sweet things very much. So ideal. What was the first part of the question?
1, do you like bananas? Do you eat them?
Oh, I used to not. I remembered I had something funny to add to that, and then I completely forgot what your question was. I used to not like bananas, and then somehow a friend of mine, her name was Kate, got it in her head that I loved bananas. I think because I ordered banana-flavored things, but like banana flavoring is not the same flavor as a banana.
No.
And I liked the flavoring, And so I kept ordering banana flavored things, and she's like, "Oh, you love bananas," and she kept buying me like bananas when she'd go to the store, and she always had them when I visited, and I would eat them because I was too polite, and then I learned to like bananas. Like, this was over 15 years ago, and I, really was like, okay, fine, this is my life, and I ate a lot of bananas, and now I do like them. Like, they're not the first fruit I'll go for if offered fruit, but I have no problem like eating a banana. But yeah, I used to just like not like them until Kate got it in her head that I did. I can't even remember.
Really funny.
I'm fairly certain it was just because I kept eating banana flavored things, which once again, not the same flavor.
Not the same thing. All I can ever think of as we're talking about banana flavored things is the banana runts, which I used to avoid like the plague because they tasted so bad to me. Like, and I liked a lot of the other Runts candy. I didn't get Runts that much, but there was something about those where I was just like, this tastes wrong. My
They're
brain
garbage,
doesn't like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are the garbage ones, and I have a friend that loves only the banana ones. So like he sent a picture to me. He sent a picture to me, and it's a bag of just the banana ones. And he's like, "Look at this, it's awesome." I'm like, "Oh, it's garbage! You have garbage in your bag." So
That's
gross.
fine. I love the banana runs.
Well, there we go, Kristen. You and I can split a bag of Runts, and I'll eat the other ones, and you can have all my banana ones. Oh
God,
gosh,
what if it
so
was the
funny.
runs as to why I was made to eat bananas?
Yeah. God, I haven't thought about Runts in so long. Jeez.
Both nerds, banana nerds, anything banana flavored.
Also, I'm very unsettled by banana Laffy Taffy. Now, I will totally admit, I am not a taffy person. I don't like saltwater taffy. I don't like Laffy Taffy. I am not. I don't like Laffy Taffy. But there was something especially weird to me about the banana Laffy Taffy. Like, nope, can't do it. Oh, we got some banana Laffy Taffy love in the chat, though. Oh, that's funny.
I love the banana Laffy Taffy.
All right, Nicole, what about you?
So, I actually had a banana this morning. I actually like them when they're slightly starting to get brown spots. Just, I don't know, I like the mushier consistency. That sounds so gross. But, I don't know, I like it a little bit sweeter and, like, softer.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's funny. I will admit, I'm odd man out. Pretty much, if a banana is starting to have any yellow on it, I won't eat it. Like, they have to be green, and that's the only way I like them. I like them super firm. I'm also going to realize possibly, like, not ripe yet, but yellow, like, if it has turned completely yellow, I don't want it. Like, I have to cut it up and put peanut butter on it to convince myself to eat it. Yeah, no, like, I like them, but I enjoy them less as an adult. Like, my dad eats one every single morning. Like, he always eats a banana, and I'm just like, I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm not going to enjoy it. So. Oh, yes. Also, so Simkin brings this up, and this was something that actually Randall in chat taught me. Rather than peeling from, we'll say, like, the top part where all the bananas...
The opposite then.
Yeah, you peel from the butt. And I was like,
pinch it and peel.
This is world-changing. Again, also to my dad, Randall shared this information with my father and changed the way that he ate bananas. So, thank you, Randall.
What is this information?
You, instead of peeling from the stem, you don't grab the stem and peel it. You pinch the other end, and if you pinch it and peel it, it just comes right off. That's how monkeys do it. So that's how you're actually supposed to peel a banana.
Rule. Was that just... Is that like a new thing with bananas?
I'm trying. I think Randall taught that to me in college, maybe. Yes, Steve, you are correct. Monkeys do a lot of dumb stuff. It's how the kids are eating bananas these days. Yeah, I honestly don't remember when you taught that to me, Randall, but it was life-changing from that moment on. Because I used to always struggle to open bananas and get really frustrated about it. And I'm also one, like, I have to peel all of the little, like, hairs and stuff off of them. Like, it's got to be totally clean. I don't want any of that, like, that texture just, nope, can't do it. Got a lot of specific feelings about bananas. Oh, so Bean said something earlier. You know, banana candy flavoring of like banana Laffy Taffy is the only way we can taste that specific banana ever again. The one that the flavoring comes from its extract. Yeah, I did know that. Like bananas from 50 years ago, none of the ones that we eat now taste anything like it because they've changed. Which again is weird. Let's see.
It's because bananas are genetically made. Like a real banana has like seeds all through it. It's not edible at all. So like the bananas that we eat are like have been spliced so much that it's all fruit.
I, for one, think our genetically modified overlords.
Hooray! We serve a wine at the winery. Actually, we have 3 different wines that were all made from genetically modified grapes. So. Wait, I'm not a Zoomer. Steve, you're not a Zoomer. None of us are well, wait, is Nicole a Zoomer? I forget,
I'm being discriminated against. What the heck? I actually don't know where I land. According to some sources, I'm a millennial. To others, I'm not. I don't know. I'm right in the middle, I guess.
You can hang out with us. We're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm not. I miss it by just a little bit, so I'm not geriatric millennial, but I am definitely elder millennial.
I'm Generation X, so.
Wow.
I'm the old man.
Steve remembers when he was Gen X. Also coming in with the fun facts, Forging Winton says, it's not that they changed, it's that the specific banana tree went extinct during World War II because the Nazis cut and burned them down. So, blame Nazis. They ruin everything.
You come for the drawing, but you always learn.
You learn so many other
fun things.
Oh, gosh. And we just keep along with the trend of we never talk about what I expect us to. Then I was Gen Y. Then I was a millennial. Now I'm an elder millennial. Yes, you and me both, Steve. Elder! Yeah. The comedian I really enjoy, Eliza Schlesinger, has a gather around the Snapchat children. Let me tell you the ways of MySpace. She's like, oh, that's too real.
I love Eliza.
She's so good.
This stuff is way too relatable.
Yes. Yep. Oh, yes. So Diana's saying also not quite Gen X, not quite millennial, the Zillennials, or the geriatric millennial, also known as the Oregon Trail generation, which I definitely fall into because Oregon Trail was a big thing on our Commodores at school. Yeah. Yep. Grew up where personal home computers were a thing, but the internet was still absolutely in its infancy. So Diana also says, oranges are also a hybrid between a pomelo, Citrus maxima, and a mandarin, Citrus, oh boy, reticulata, and the sweet orange has its entire genome sequenced.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Huh. Also, Tony P coming in with the, this is why I just avoid fruit.
I'll wait until we get into the farming of fish. That'll horrify you.
Speaking of fish, Jeff, your fish looks so cute.
Thank you.
I like his little underbite. I can talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Coming in with another hard-hitting fruit fact. He who is Steve says, did you guys know apples come in green too? Yes. Also, Tony P, don't get scurvy. We love you. Please don't get scurvy. Eat some fruit. Also, chat, since you're giving us all the fruit knowledge, what's the best fruit to eat to combat scurvy? Or people and artists, if you know.
Yeah, citrus,
Isn't it
right?
lemons? Lemons and limes?
You need that vitamin C.
So I just need to drink more margaritas? What do I put lemon and lime
Sounds
in?
right. That sounds right.
Okay.
Because I know that that's why, like, a term for the British during, like, the Revolutionary War and everything were limeys, because they carried limes on their ships to combat scurvy. Like, that was the British Royal Navy's, like, thing for scurvy was limes. Because they, at the time, didn't have access to a lot of the other citrus fruits, and limes, I guess, survived the longest without refrigeration. But that's hearsay. I don't know for sure. But it seems legit, so.
Bean says, here's an apple fruit fact. You can't grow the same type of apple that you took the seeds from. They always mutate the seeds. So they have to like splice the seeds in apple trees to get the right apples. Yes. Which is, so I always use apples as a reference when I'm talking about our hybrid wines, because I was like, so if you've ever had a Honeycrisp apple is not a naturally occurring apple. It's one that has been genetically bred to produce that. And it's the same thing that they did with the grapevine to produce like our wine that is Cayuga White. So it is hybriding Native American and grapes that could survive here in the cold climate with much more delicate blossoms from across the pond that couldn't make it in this climate because they're warm weather grapes. So.
Well, wait, what? Really?
For that specific hybrid, yeah.
That's crazy, Pete.
Yeah. Simpkin says, I would like to unsubscribe from Fruit Facts. Oh, God. Too late now. We're in it now. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So Kristen, right up near me and near the winery is Cornell University, and they're the ones like back in the early 70s is when they first created this particular grape that we now grow called the Cayuga White. It's got a scientific number too that I can never remember. Yeah, they did that to try and find, because you've got like Niagara and Delaware, which are naturally occurring grapes that live in this region. Plus you've got all of the Vitis vinifera, so all of the Riesling and Gewürztraminer and all of those that were brought over and planted here and actually like the cold weather. So this is kind of like the American hybridization of that to make our own style.
Dang. All right.
Yeah. So technically that doesn't count, Simkin, because that's a wine fact. That's not just a fruit fact, even though they come from grapes. Oh. Diana, is that like the Clone Saga? Like Spider-Man? It says most commercial fruits we eat are in fact clones of the original. Mm-hmm. also said it's Pride Month, Simpkin. Respect the fruits. Oh my gosh, chat, you're cracking me up today. Simpkin, so I've seen some of the ones where I love where they grow them like into specific containers that are specific shapes. So you end up with like cube apples, which there's just something about it that appeals to my brain. I don't know why, but I like it. It's weird, but I like it. Oh, Diana also says, speaking of apples, Applejack and Big Mac approve. The apple you're eating today, it's a year old. There you go. Cubed watermelon. Yeah, cubed watermelon. Like they grow them into that shape, which honestly, like way easier to cut. So I get it. The Ruby Roman is the most expensive variety. All right. See, I knew you didn't really want to unsubscribe from Fruit Facts. I knew you wanted more. Oh my gosh. So Simpkin says, found this on CNN. This bunch of grapes just sold for $11,000 in Japan for one bunch. That's insane. Diana also says, U.S. raisin farmers aren't allowed to sell all the raisins they grow. They must contribute to a national raisin reserve if supply exceeds demand. All these facts that I never know. Oh gosh. And Del says, if you get a chance, look up the Tibetan black diamond apple. Oh, I love all of this.
I don't want to look up the Tibetan black.
Wait until you find out why they're called blood oranges, guys.
I did not previously realize the untapped wealth of information we had about fruit. Also, important to mention, he who is Steve said, where'd it go? One time I ate too many apples and I got a wicked bad tummy ache. Also, did you guys know that your eyes are the highest holes on your head? Thanks for that. That will live in my brain rent-free for the rest of my life.
I mean, it's true, but does he need to say it?
I think that sums up Steve pretty well. It's true, but did you need to say it? Did you need to tell me that? The truth does deserve its day in the sun. You're right. We wouldn't want you any other way, Steve. Oh, Bean says, but don't my hair follicles count as holes? They're just filled. Thank you. Thank you for making me say that. Diana also come in with strawberry facts. Technically, strawberries aren't berries or fruits. The plant produces a fleshy false fruit, aka pseudocarp, from its flower. I'm very sciencey. Don't at me. And what we think of as seeds on the outside are actually the true fruits. Technically, the strawberry is an aggregate accessory fruit, meaning that the fleshy part is derived not from the plant's ovaries, but from the receptacle that holds the ovaries. Each apparent seed, I'm not going to say that because I don't know how to pronounce it, on the outside of the fruit is actually one of the ovaries of the flower with a seed inside of it.
I just imagine the people that just drew strawberries just like deleting like fine.
Like, nope, done with this. I'm out. Jeff is like, oh, what? Was that my kids? I've got to go.
Yeah.
Well, respect my choice in fruit. Fine. I did have to check whether an avocado was a fruit because I did not know that.
Is it?
I looked it up and it said it was. Google did.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's some sort of scientific person that can say, well, actually.
An avocado is neither.
Can I tell you a not sciencey but fun avocado? I guess fun. I say fun in ironic air quotes. Fun avocado story. I can't remember if I shared this on. I don't think I shared it on Doodle Crew. I think I shared it on my regular stream. But a few Fridays ago, I was in the emergency room with my housemate because she decided, in her effort to pit an avocado, she would instead drive the knife all the way through the avocado pit, through the avocado, and all the way through her hand. Yep. So that's a thing. So please, fruit or not, or any avocado facts, just please be careful, everyone, when you are pitting avocados. They make some great tools.
That's more of a fun knife story than a fun avocado story.
Yes, but now we've been on the kick of referring it to it as handmade guac, which is just really sick and it's so bad. Yep, so that's the thing, but yeah, so all the way through her hand. So that was cool. Don't do that at home, kids. It wasn't fun.
But the fact you can make fun of it later, I guess.
Yes.
Helps
And,
the pain.
you know, in the moment, like when we were hustling to the ER, like that's how we cope with it. And then as like we have moments of realization later, be like, okay, yep, that was really scary, but we handled ourselves well and we got here. And honestly, she was incredibly lucky for where the knife went through. She managed to not hit any bone, not nick any of her tendons, and did not lose feeling in any part of it. So if you're going to do it, like, do it like that, because the damage should be not permanent. But yeah, don't stab your hands, kids.
Oh,
I know. I just ruined Kristen's plans for the afternoon.
What else am I supposed to do on a Sunday?
Actually, I think I could just delete this whole layer, right? Yeah. Oh, I love when you guys were talking about tomatoes. I love that there's and I will not get it right, so I'm not even going to try, but there was a metaphor for explaining, I guess metaphor? I don't know. Brain is struggling. There was a reference that talked about how you could use what a tomato is to explain the different traits in D&D. Like intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing that a tomato doesn't belong in a fruit salad. And then I think charisma was, being able to sell a tomato-based fruit salad to somebody. And I always thought that was really cool. And because when I first started playing D&D, I was very confused between the difference of intelligence versus wisdom and how it affected characters. I'm sorry you had to go to the ER, Diana. I made light of that situation. I certainly don't wish that on anybody. It's not a happy place. Oh, Dell also says avocados would be extinct without humans. So.
Or are they man-made pollination or whatever the word is?
Here we go. Knock my phone over. Knowledge is knowing tomatoes are a fruit. Wisdom is knowing tomatoes don't belong in a fruit salad. Philosophy is wondering if that means ketchup is a fruit smoothie. Oh, I like it. And Bean also says, and Dex is just being able to cut everything up small enough to not tell if it's a tomato, to tell it's a tomato in your fruit salad. I like it.
Description of Dex.
Tony P says, and that's why I avoid D&D. Coming in hot today, Tony P. That's not the layer I want to be on. Oh, okay. So here you go, Kristen. Dell says the megafauna that ate avocados and spread their seeds went extinct, and no other species besides humans could do what the megafauna species could.
Okay. Huh. So the overlap between when the species went extinct and when humans discovered the avocado good minus pit must have been like long enough. Interesting. I remember watching like a mini documentary series this morning on bees and what plants need, specifically bees, and what plants don't, and you know, going over the theory that if honeybees went extinct, like what plants are actually perfectly fine and what plants may or may not suffer.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. It just reminded me when you're talking about the megafauna.
Yeah, no,
That there's more pollinators than we realize.
Yeah, the bee stuff is fascinating and also terrifying.
Well, I didn't know that honeybees are not native to the Americas, and that like Americas are one of the few places that would be fine without the honeybee because we have so many other natural pollinators. Like, don't quote me on this because I'm not a beeologist, but
I don't know what biologists are called.
right? I'm sure there's a word for them. It's got to be a nice, fun Latin word.
Always Latin. Get back here. Well, just the word megafauna just sounds cool. Megafauna. Like, I feel like that's like a Power Rangers character. Like, just one of the mechs. Megafauna.
Yeah, where's my megamorphin, like, giant sloth?
Oh, speaking of giant sloths, something super, super cool about being out in California and going to the La Brea tar pits and seeing all of that and learning, like, about the nature of the tar pit and, like, the preservation of it, but also, like, the absolute like destruction that it wrecks on whatever animal gets stuck in it. Like super, super cool, super, super terrifying. But yeah, giant sloths.
Did you go out to the La Brea Tar Pits?
I did.
I went there one time, and was this also your experience where it's in a park that's in the middle of a city, right? Like it's literally downtown, and you walk around the La Brea Tar Pits, but then you walk away from it and you're walking through the park, and it's a normal park, and then there's a random orange cone sitting in the middle of the grass, and that's because it's a new mini tar pit. And they're just everywhere. And I didn't know that they kept growing and that they would just spontaneously appear in like someone's backyard or something. I was assuming that it was out in the middle of nowhere. They were contained and they were in no way going to just swallow up a park bench.
Yep. For all of my years being absolutely terrified of quicksand, I had not previously been terrified of tar pits. After visiting them, I now have a newfound fear of just like, no. Getting swallowed up by one. It's irrational. I'm aware, but it's still there. I think I've gotten over the quicksand fear, but tar pits replaced it. So I don't know if it's better.
I had no idea they were just there. Just there you go. You can stick your finger in it if you want, because all the big ones have like big guardrails around them. But then there's just these like manhole-sized one. It's like, yeah, you could fall into it if you don't see that orange cone.
And it's just there, and it's exactly what you said about, like, it's just a regular park that's got the museum in it, and then it's got, like, a whole, like, excavation element to it, which is super cool, but, like, you're literally just hanging out in this park, and all of a sudden you're like, something smells like weird, like, asphalt, or, like, they're paving, or something like that, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, shit, no, it's literally the tar pit right there.
I forgot about the smell. You're right. Yeah. Don't know how I forgot about the smell, but I did.
That's your brain protecting you.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Also, Jeff, simultaneously, I love how you did that, like, sunlight coming through the water effect, and I also hate you for it because it looks so cool, and you just, like, dropped it in there like, no big deal.
It's so easy to do. It looks good.
I know, but you make it look easy.
Because it is easy. It's just a bunch of lines, and then you blur it a little bit, and then you're done. I'm going to be done here with my picture, and I have to go upstairs and start looking for stuff to make for dinner. So,
yeah. All right,
thank you again for having me on.
Absolutely. Oh, don't say that. All right, so I want to highlight this so everybody can see. Nice and big. Look at that. Super cute. Oh my gosh, I love the little strawberry fish in the background too. They turned out so cool. Yay. All right. Also, if you want to follow Jeff, make sure you follow him. He's on Twitter and Instagram and all the other things. I don't know where all you are, but I know you're on Twitter and Instagram.
Those are the main two. I mean, you could always hook up with me on Facebook, but I check it like once a day, and I don't really do too much on there. But mostly Instagram for the most part, and then if you DM me on Twitter, then I'll respond. But other than that, I just kind of scroll, and that's about it.
Yeah. If you also want to see more of his cool stuff, make sure you head over to his Patreon, which is Pocket Science. The link is in the chat. So, yeah. Do you have a new... How often do you release your parenting strips?
It's very sporadic. I'm working on one now, but it's not like too often with that. On my Patreon, they'll get it first for a few days before I do that public, and then I'm also doing a fantasy adventure comic on there called Giant Bastard, and that's exclusively on there. You're not going to find that anywhere else.
Yay! Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Oh, Raging Lady Boner also said, that's me in sinkholes. Yep. Again, didn't used to have a fear of sinkholes. Now that I'm aware that they can just randomly open, I'm like, cool. Cool. Come back through. How are you doing waiting for your stuff to dry, Nicole?
Well, that's not the issue right now. I'm just frustrated with everything I do today, but yeah, the drying thing is a thing.
I was gonna say, it looks super, super cute.
My sketch looks better.
That statement in and of itself is literally my lifetime as an artist. Like, I'll have this sketch that I absolutely love, and I'll go to ink it, and I'm like, cool, you ruined it. Like, it was so nice, and then you made it bad. Oh, but look at the baby.
But this was my sketch, and now it's kind of not. It's not as cute. It just looks like an alien.
I mean, he is green, so
it's. I mean, yeah, but
no, I think it looks really cute.
Thanks. I already trashed my first one, so that's fine.
No,
it's fine.
I was just waiting for Paul to come smashing into chat, be like, no.
Oh, he's sleeping.
Aww. He's gonna be so sad when he watches the VOD of this and finds out.
Yep.
Many days from now. Also, for those of you who follow Doodle Crew Draw on Facebook, 1, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And 2, I'm super sorry for the random posts with the videos. I think Creator Studio is testing me because I will schedule it. It will say that it's scheduled, and then it will post it anyways. And I'm like, that's not what we agreed on, Facebook. We agreed you'd wait. And it's like, nah, no. So, but if you ever want to watch them, they're on YouTube too. Sorry, I'm still laughing at my super chonky little seal guy. Just
They look super cute.
he's like, I was
he's
looking
so
up.
Happy.
He's so happy. I was looking up pictures of like seals sunning themselves on the rocks, and especially like we'll say the less athletic ones. Like they're just big old tubes, and I was like, I feel this.
Yep.
This might actually be my spirit animal. Get out here. Nope. So, are there any fruits that either of you are allergic to?
Pineapple.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm not sure you can be allergic to pineapple. It's really uncomfortable. Like
Do you
really,
get
really, really uncomfortable.
like the little pain and cuts on your tongue and like the sensitivity to that?
It's not that so much. It's that my tongue just goes numb.
Oh, geez.
And like I know that to a certain extent, like you will get some numbness because there is acid in it and stuff like that. And it is like digesting your tongue essentially. Like when you eat raw pineapple, there's an enzyme in it that will like break stuff down. But for me it's just like and even sometimes my lips like it goes numb, which I don't think is supposed to happen. So
No, I don't think so. Okay.
Only when it's raw though. So if it's like in a can or something, it's fine. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm only allergic to tree nuts, but fruits I'm actually okay with.
Thanks. Now, what all does that entail as far as nuts? Like, which ones can't you have?
Cashews are the main one, but I also can't do pecans, pistachios. I'm okay with walnuts, which makes zero sense, but that's what it is. Hazelnuts, Brazil nuts. There's a few others. But pretty much if it comes off of a tree, like peanuts, obviously not tree nuts, so I'm fine with those. But if it comes off a tree, I should not eat it because it is not a fun day. But fruits I'm good with.
Yeah, I definitely, again, Nicole, I don't get the numbness, but I get the, like, it kind of feels like all of a sudden I've got thousands of little cuts all over my tongue, which I don't enjoy. Like the same thing, like I really love the flavor of raw pineapple and fresh pineapple, but it hurts. Like it's fighting me the whole way down. So so Simkin is asking us, he's not had it, but he also doesn't think he wants to, but has anyone had a durian? And considering
yes. Sorry.
Oh, okay, there we go. It's like I don't even know what that is. So
durian is, well, I had it when a coworker of mine, her name is Marcella, and she was from the Philippines, and she went home and she came back, and apparently you can't have durian on airplanes, so I have no idea how she brought it back, but she brought back some sealed durian fruit as well as a ton of durian candy, and she made a bunch of dishes for us with the durian. And the thing about durian is apparently it smells horrible. Some equate it to raw fish or dead fish, and some think it's more like a skunk smell. I definitely thought it smelled. I didn't think it smelled like either of those two things. It smelled definitely of like a rotting sort of, and then it's a very strong odor, or a very strong taste as well. But I figured if ever I was going to try it, I should try it with someone who like knew what they were doing. And Marcella loved durian, so she's like, no, I'm going to educate you poor people. So we had it. It was good. She made a lot of dishes, and they were palatable. And we had some raw, and it was overshadowed by the fact that she also had a lot of other authentic cooking, one of being fermented silkworms, and I sort of got hung up on those over the durian. So I've had durian. I see the deal people make about it, but I think I was a little too freaked out by other things on the table, and I was like, oh, fruit, yes, I can this. Fine. But if you can have durian, I think it's becoming okay, like more popular in the United States. I think it does have like some health benefits, or at least that's what I heard. But yes, I have had it a couple times, but I've never sought it out, ever.
That's fair. Yeah, I unfortunately, I mean, I shouldn't complain. It's a nice thing, but while my eyesight isn't great and my hearing is real bad, my sense of smell is really strong. So sometimes with foods that have a very particular smell to them or something that's very pungent, like I struggle because it's overpowering to me, and you know, my brain is just like, don't put that in your face. What are you doing? Don't do that. Yeah. But also, I think I would be exactly with you. Like, other elements of that would be hard for me to be like, okay, I want to be brave. I want to try it. But at the same time, like, I'm struggling. I would have been better if you just didn't tell me what that was.
I was excited for it. Like, I knew what durian was, and she'd like kind of surprised us, like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff from my home, and we're gonna have a whole tasting party, and I was super excited for it. And I had an idea of what durian was just from like hearsay, like, oh, this is the idea of it. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat a weird thing, and for the sake of just eating it. Like, I didn't expect to like it, and it was a thing.
Yep.
Couldn't say that I liked it.
One that actually surprised me that I didn't think I was going to like, and I don't know why, but I didn't have them until I went to Hawaii, and that was the rambutans. So there's the little red, like essentially they look like what I think of a prickly pear in the Jungle Book, but they're little red spiky things that you crack open, and it's kind of, at least the ones I had, tasted like a blend between a grape and a pear. But they were really good. Like, it was one of those where I was like, I don't even know how to approach this, but, you know, when in Hawaii, you're getting literally the freshest produce that you could possibly want. So I also had the best grapefruit I've ever had there because we literally picked it off of the bush, and it was amazing. So, yeah. And they're just fun to say. Rambutan.
I had a very, very similar to that. I had a friend that I went to go visit who was going to college in St. Thomas, which is in the Caribbean, the U.S. Virgin Islands. So, by the way, best place to go to college. Could not think of a...
Yeah.
She was going for marine biology, so I guess it made sense. But while we were there, the house that she was staying at had a bunch of wild lychee trees. And some of her classmates, because she was in a lab and I was just kind of hanging out, and they're like, oh, let's show you around the island. And we went to this, their house was on Water Island, which was a very small island off of St. Thomas. And they just like scuttled up these trees, picked a whole bunch of lychee, brought them down, took them inside and made, obviously, rum, because it's Caribbean, rum, lychee smoothies. And it was so fresh because the rum is made on the island, the lychees were made on the island, they were just distilling rainwater, you know, and it was amazing. And it's the best smoothie I think I've ever had, because just like you said, it is right there, so fresh. Just make what is in the area.
Yep.
And I absolutely loved it. I was like, can I stay here forever?
Yeah. They were talking about papaya in the chat, and the same thing with that. Like, I've had not as fresh papaya. It's not as good. Like, no, I get it. I get it why it is so easy to eat so much fruit here, because it's all so good. Like, and there was a farmer's market every day in a different part on the island. You could go and literally get the most delicious fresh fruits and vegetables every day. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice. Huh. All right. But exactly something that you said, Kristen, like having someone who, like, if they're going to prepare me a dish that they've had like their entire life, or like they learned how to prepare from a family member and stuff like that, like those are the ones where I was like, nope, no matter what my brain is telling me about being nervous about trying something, like that's the time, because you're not going to get it like better than that, than your friend. Like, here, this is how I really enjoy it. And I like that.
I'm super excited to try jackfruit. Like I really want to try it, but I also want to try it from someone like a professional chef or a friend or someone who like knows how to handle jackfruit, because I look at that giant spiky like mason ball of stuff and I'm like, nope, that is outside of my wheelhouse. I got no confidence in myself as a chef to even tackle jackfruit.
Yeah, we had it. Well, okay, so we have a local market, so we got like a part of it like chopped up. Well, I say chopped up, like you would get a piece of watermelon, except, or instead of getting an entire watermelon, it's the same thing with the jackfruit. Yeah, I agree with the don't cook it yourself because it's sticky. It's so sticky.
Ooh.
You like separate it with
that.
your hands, but it's so sticky. It gets it's worse than honey, and honey is bad. It's yeah, it's stringy. It's kind of gross, but it tastes good.
I've heard it's a good meat substitute too.
Yep,
like if you're
it
looking
is.
for that kind of thing.
You really have to like, I don't know, season it correctly though. I've had good and bad ones, but yeah.
Another reason why I'd rather trust someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it looks good. Like every time I see the photos of people cooking up jackfruit, I'm like, oh, that looks amazing. Yes, please. May I?
Me, please?
Which reminds me, I have a very interesting fruit thing to talk about. I do have a story behind it, but I'd like to see if people have any of their own experiences first, and that is miracle fruit. Is anyone either familiar with miracle fruit, or has anyone in the chat or even here had miracle fruit? I'm pretty sure it's a berry, but it's called a miracle fruit. So
okay,
that's a word I'm using.
I've definitely never consumed anything called that, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, me neither.
It might go by a different name. I've only ever known it as miracle fruit. It's a little red berry, like the size of like a raspberry. It's super small. And what it does is it inverts your taste buds. So anything that's bitter or sour is very, very sweet. So like if you bite on a raw lemon, all of a sudden it tastes like really sweet lemonade. Apparently if you drink Guinness beer, it tastes kind of like chocolate syrup. If you bite into a raw onion, it tastes like a really sweet caramelized onion, like that sort of thing. I've heard varying people compare that it, or I've heard some people say that it also takes care of capsaicin, so spicy things are no longer spicy, but I don't know about that 100%, but I do know that it does invert your taste buds, and it's not permanent. Obviously, it only lasts for like a couple hours. You can, I think it's a South American berry or fruit, and you can eat the berry itself and it'll do it. Or they have these like tablet pills that you can just like dissolve on your tongue and they will do it too. But yeah, apparently there's, and this is how I learned about it, there are miracle fruit parties where someone will obviously host a party and they get a bunch of these either berries or tablets, and then you have just a smorgasbord of bitter, sour, generally like not very flavorful foods, and then you eat the miracle fruit and then everything just has a brand new flavor to it that is very like sweet and very pleasant. So it's kind of a really cool thing. The idea of miracle fruit.
No,
and
it's
I did
nuts.
get to go to a miracle fruit party that my friend hosted when I used to live in Albany, and he did both. He bought the fruits, which he bought them online for like $1 each, and he bought like 100 of them. But then he also purchased the tablets because he wanted to do like a taste test to see which ones work more than the others. And yeah, everyone was just having a grand old time, like biting into raw onions and biting into like, drinking like really heavy stout beers and really hoppy beers and a lot of hot pepper stuff. Because again, some people claimed it also worked on the capsaicin, but just kind of a really fun, neat idea for a party.
Yeah. So Simkin, it looks like Simkin is familiar. They said makes pills from it. I don't know. Also, Bean says, I know of Miracle Whip. Yes, so do I, Bean. Not the same thing. But also, yes, there's something about a Miracle Fruit party that, like, if someone just said that to me, I'd be like, what crazy thing are you inviting me to? Like, this sounds like a setup. I don't trust you.
Especially if you don't know about the fruit ahead of time and you're just like, okay, you want me to take this white unlabeled pill at a party called a Miracle Fruit? Really? That's what you're inviting me to? Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a no from me.
But no, it ended up being like a phenomenal time and I absolutely loved it.
That is so cool.
It did not work for me personally, but the idea was cool.
Okay, so I was going to say, so you didn't experience any of the switch in your flavor palette?
I did not, and I was one of 2 people at a party of, I would say, about roughly 50, give or so, people that it did not work on. I took both the berry first, and then I waited a couple hours, and I took the little tablet, the little pill, and neither of them had any effect on me. And then one other person at the party, the fruit didn't work, but the tablet like kind of worked, but still not enough to where like he could just bite into a raw onion like everyone else was doing. So unfortunately, I did not get the benefit of the Miracle Fruit. We don't know why. Like I didn't really find anyone online talking about like you just have like maybe not enough taste buds for it to work or something. But no, it had no effect on me, and I nearly cried because I was so sad. I should have known because when I first bit into the berry, I was like, oh man, this is really sour. And everyone's like, no, the berry tastes like candy. Like, what are you talking about? Well, the berry does taste very sour, but then the enzymes work almost instantly, so then it does taste sweet. So that should have been my giveaway.
Well, I wonder if it is something similar to like the genetic predisposition when it comes to like cilantro. Like I'm one of the cilantro people. So cilantro tastes bad to me. It smells bad, it tastes bad, and I am not allergic to it because you're not really allergic. It's just any of the times I've ever come into contact with it, I don't get the soap taste like a lot of people say, but I have I took a big bite of salsa that had very fresh cilantro in it. And immediately my brain went into like panic mode. Like, you've consumed something you shouldn't have. You need to spit it out right now. Like, it tasted bad in my mouth. And like my body was just like, nope, get it out, get it out. So, and I've had like, and it always breaks my heart because I really enjoy Thai food, but it's, you know, it's a big part of that. And I'm just like, there was once where I got this amazing bowl of noodles and soup and all this great stuff. And every time I would go down to like put my spoon into it to take a scoop of it, it smelled really bad, but it tasted great. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And it turned out there was a fresh sprig of cilantro on the outside of the bowl that I didn't see. And so I was picking up on the smell of it, and that was throwing me off. So yeah. So I'm wondering if with you, like if it's obviously a lesser known genetic thing because Miracle Fruit's not as well known, but like that same, like it's literally just in my DNA to not be able to do it.
I mean, that's worth thinking about because I absolutely love cilantro, and I can understand how some people can think it tastes like soap, but I also think they're just crazy. Not really. I mean, I understand. But yeah, I love cilantro. I also know that I have to have a ton of seasoning in foods. I need very strong flavors. Like I love horseradish. I love spicy foods a ton. And I just know that I love as much flavor as possible. Like some people might consider what I create a little over-seasoned. So that it might just be, and this is a theory that we were kind of working with, you know, after the whole Miracle Fruit thing, but no, is that I just like don't have a lot of taste buds, or I don't have very sensitive taste buds. Like I have the opposite. Because a couple of people were like, oh, well, what if you're like a super taster, which is one of those people that have like an overabundance of taste buds and maybe the enzymes can't work because you have too much of that. And I was like, yeah, but I don't fit that everywhere else. So that's why we were thinking like, oh, maybe your tongue is just dumb.
Yes. I mean, I have thought that for sure many, many times. Yeah, because I will also say like I am very sensitive to spicy foods. Part of that I am positive is my upbringing, like, well, I think we had a lot of flavorful foods. Like we've got much more like a lot of German cooking. So there was a lot more, I feel like, sour acidic type dishes. I don't know. It's a different, but it's not spicy. Like we don't use a lot of jalapenos. We don't use a lot of like red pepper flakes or any of that, or any sort of curry or any of those. So I never had a taste for it. And then as I, started branching out and trying new foods, like I'm such a weenie when it comes to spice. I'm just like, you go to the Thai restaurant, they're like, what spiciness would you like? I'm like, is 0 an option for me? Can I? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying.
I'm kind of like that too, and now I'm wondering if that's because, just didn't grow up with it, kind of like you said.
Yeah.
But then again, I also don't like the acidic stuff. Like, I hate vinegar.
Okay.
I hate it. Ugh. And like anything fermented is just, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those flavors. I think we're you guys probably just have that really sensitivity, and I'm just like, nope, you have to burn my tongue off for me to taste anything.
Harder. I can't feel it. Harder. Like, oh God. Yeah. Well, and so funny when we talk about taste buds with the one, we'll say semi-science that I can talk about. So when it comes to wine tasting, and this is because I've now worked in the industry for a couple of years, but the region where I work is a cold climate, like I mentioned, but a lot of that is the Riesling and Gewürztraminer, and a lot of our reds all take on, especially the Riesling, which is naturally acidic. They have a little bit more of an acidic taste to them, and it's because of the climate that they're grown in. But because I grew up drinking that type of wine, that acidity doesn't bother me because I have a regional palate to that. But we get people who have never consumed wine from this area. So when they try Riesling and Gewürztraminer for the first time, they're like, oh, wow, like it's very different than what they're used to, because they don't have like that built-in like tongue that's used to receiving those flavors. So yeah, it's weird. But
I never considered that before about wine.
I've learned so much. It's so cool though. Like I genuinely really enjoy learning about it. Like I've always enjoyed drinking. No, that's not true. I've enjoyed drinking wine since I was an adult. Like as a kid, being around my parents, like grandpa always had wine. Like it was always a thing. We were always offered it, but I was like, ew, no, why? This tastes terrible. Why would you drink this? And now I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But, growing up with that and what my parents drank and all of that, it's just kind of funny.
Oh, my father scarred me when I was like 1. Well, okay, it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. But so I think it was my first birthday party. But at that time, like we were regulars at this one pub/restaurant. Like, I don't know. They had food, but they also had a lot of like beer. And my dad is a beer drinker, and so I was sitting on his lap because I was 1 year old, and he had his beer in front of him. And so while he was talking to someone, I made a fist and stuck the fist into the beer and then licked it. And I think that scarred me. I really don't like beer. I mean, I don't like alcohol, but beer especially is just like, ugh, no.
Nope, there's definitely, which, now, I'm going to tell this story, and like so many of the stories from my childhood, it sounds a lot worse than it is. Just preface it that way. But similar, so I had and Kristen, you might have had them too, because I feel like they were very common, but we had they were like plastic cups that kind of had just a little bit of a taper at the top, but then they had like a sippy cup thing that you could like clip onto it, like Tupperware type thing, as opposed to all of these new crazy like sippy cup things that the kids have nowadays, which I'm just like, there's magic there that I don't understand. Like you tip them over and they don't spill. How is that possible? But I remember like my dad had a friend over and they were hanging out and they were drinking beer and I was kind of just bombing around with them. I'm assuming my mom was at work or something, but At one point, Dad's friend put beer in my sippy cup so that I could try it. And it very much the same. Like, I coughed and gagged and it was terrible. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Why would anybody drink that? And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. But it can't be fetal alcohol syndrome because I was already a toddler, right? Sorry, that's real dark. I'm sorry.
If we're sharing first alcohol stories, because that seems like that's where we're going with this. Mine was more practical, wherein we were at a wedding that was for a cousin that was way up in Yosemite National Park, which if anyone's been there, there's not really a lot around there. And I had gotten very sick. Like, they kept thinking that, oh, it was just like the plane ride or something, like, you know, my ears didn't pop from the altitude or whatever. I was like, no, I actually had the flu, and it just took everyone forever to realize that. Anyway, so up in Yosemite, there's nothing, like there's no convenience stores. We were way up in the mountains at these like really isolated cabins. So they needed to knock me out because I was a little kid and I was in pain and I was just like not able to sleep. And so they're like, well, let's just give her a beer. And then that was kind of like my medication until after the wedding, when they could finally get me to like down the mountain to get some medical, what have you.
Oh.
But you know what? You gotta, I mean, parents thinking outside the box on that one, I guess.
Absolutely. You gotta adapt and overcome.
Well, we need to knock her out. Might as well give her a beer.
Oh my gosh. And see, we turned out fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I got dolphins and I got armadillos.
All right. Well, let's say we just past the 2-hour mark, but if we are close to getting to a finishing point, then we can wrap up for the day. Excuse me. I don't know what to do when I've actually like done a piece how I wanted it to look and it's almost done. Like I'm feeling really weird. I'm like, is there more to do? I think it's done. I'm just gonna noodle with it until I hate it. So I guess now, because I'm curious, so everybody in chat, I'm curious to know if you are Team Cilantro tastes good or Team Cilantro tastes like soap. I know Raging Lady Boner said Team Cilantro tastes like soap, and Dell agreed. So I'm curious, because I always assumed I was in the lower margins of that, because I knew so many people who really liked it. But oh, so he who is Steve says cilantro tastes like bitter paper to me. Never had cilantro as far as I know. Okay. Oh, so Diana also says tastes like soap. Oh. Well, Bean, if you want to do an experiment, when we're at Dragon Con, we can test you out, see what you think.
Yeah,
As a cilantro lover, I can get why people think it tastes like that.
I don't know if I've had it.
I think what bums me out about it is it's unlike spiciness. Like when I was actually eating more spicy food on a regular basis, I was slowly like building up a tolerance to it so that it was more enjoyable to me. But the thing with the cilantro is like, it doesn't matter. Like I can eat it, I can try and eat it as much as I want, but it's literally never going to taste right to me. And so like, I'm just like, that's a crock, man. Yes, Diana, exactly that. She says cilantro can actually ruin a meal for me. Yeah, it's the same where I'm like, I always want to get like shrimp tacos because I really like shrimp tacos. And so often, like the salsa that they put in or the corn or the spices, like it is usually a component in there. And I get so bummed because I'm like, can you just not put that on there? And they're like, so you just want some shrimp in a tortilla? And I'm like, no, I'll order something else. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm broken. All right, Raging Lady Boner. She says there's a place here in Atlanta that puts cilantro in every dish they make. We could go there. Okay. Never had the right rice. Okay. So honestly, Simkin, no, I don't think I've ever had the white rice from Chipotle. I usually get the brown rice. Now, I will say the one time that it was fine for me is in a pico de gallo where you've got a lot of like tomatoes and onions chopped up. And I think we'll say rather than chopping up fresh cilantro, they might have used like seasoned like from a container cilantro. That was one where the acidity of the tomatoes overpowered it enough for me. Like I didn't taste it right away, but there were a couple of times where I would bite into the pico and be like, oh, was that just a weird tomato or something? So it's there, but it was masked. But yeah, fresh cilantro, forget it. Like I can't. Mm-mm. Yeah. I felt so bad because like one of the times when I ate the thing that I didn't know cilantro was in. It was during lunchtime around a bunch of my coworkers, and I took a big old bite of this thing and then immediately did like what kids do and spit it back out onto the plate. And the girl sitting across from me, she's like, ew, why? And I'm like, it's so bad. I'm like scraping my tongue off. I'm just like, I can't. She's like, okay, I'm sorry. It's real bad. That's fine. Also, I love Chipotle. So. Oh, I like that little, like, kind of, I can't even talk. Kristen, I like the background on that piece. That's what I want to say. Like, the sketchiness of it. It looks cool.
I'm trying to do, like, bubbles. Bubbles always seem much harder than they should be. They're just little dots, but it's the placement of them.
Yep. I will totally admit to having, from one time or another, just downloaded a bubble brush so that I could just add them to it that way because I'm a lazy human.
I didn't think about a bubble brush. I'll admit I forget about brushes a lot.
Yeah. All right. So, Nicole, do you want to start us with showing us your pieces and outro?
Sure.
Outroing?
Yeah. All right. So this is the thing that, well, okay. So this is the thing that I was trying to draw, and my sketch looked better, and then I ruined it. Then I ruined it with the bushes, so that's not good. This looks a little bit alien, but I like it better. Yeah, I guess I should have practiced this, drawing animals and whatnot. So
I never do. I just wing it.
But then I was just absentmindedly painting, and I came up with the Cocoa Bunny.
Oh my god!
And I didn't even give it eyes because it's too fluffy.
It's so cute. Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
I like how it could also look like it's moving very, very quickly.
Yep.
Yes. Also, I think Steve wins with the comment. It's a dawberry. Aww. Okay. Also, I feel like if you went in and gave like the darker, harder outlines to some of the leaves, you could do a cool like hidden in the bushes type stuff, and then maybe go back with like the heavier white paint and do like streaks of sunlight coming through, because I don't think it's ruined. But I also know, like Deanna says it absolutely perfectly. She doesn't think it's ruined, but we are also our own worst critics. Yes,
Yeah.
I genuinely hope that anybody who watches Doodle Crew with us sees that we are so mean to our own art. Because yeah, we do that. That's how we do.
Yeah.
But the Cocoa Bunny is
What was
phenomenal.
I might have mentioned it before, but gosh, it was one of our instructors even that said, like, you have to be humble enough to create art, but arrogant enough to hang it, or something like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I don't remember who said it, but that's a good one.
But yeah, you can find me on the internet at Mayor Squish.
Yay! Yay! Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. How's are you still doing Etsy stuff? I mean, I know you still have your Etsy shop. Are you still pushing those last couple of pieces that you wanted to
Well, I got some stickers.
Yes!
Hold on. I have them. I got some stickers.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute!
I have 10, so these will be going on my Etsy at some point.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Love it.
And,
So cute.
And they're the good vinyl kind and not the paper kind. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if everybody in chat hasn't already checked out, definitely go to Mayor Squish's Etsy. She's got great stuff on there. So, yeah. And when you are back into a new season of Crash Test Pilots, right?
Yes, we are a couple episodes in.
Heck yeah.
And it's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And you make me want to watch shows. So,
yay.
Just good. Yeah. All right. And Kristen, I'll move you over so we can see that. Look at them. They're so sweet. They're so cute.
So I have my avocado armadillo with his little pit as his belly, because I was just obsessed with this like pudgy little belly of armadillos. Like they just got this pooch, and that's the pit. So I really had fun doing the textures. And then the banana dolphin, or dolphin banana porpoise thing. And it wasn't until I was almost done coloring that I kind of harkened back to our talk about the bananas and like what color they have to be when we eat them. And it's like, well, I should make the baby dolphin green, right? And then the adult dolphin's slightly overripe with the speckling. So
I love it.
If I was a little bit morbid, I would have done like a brown spot in the shape of like shark teeth or something, but I felt like we should not quite go in that. Only because I don't know if anyone else's cats bite their bananas. Just if you find teeth marks in your bananas.
It's the cats. No, I love it.
Yeah,
also,
so those are...
That's great. No, they turned out so good. So she did an avocado armadillo bean. So it's the pit of the avocado, but on the little belly of the armadillo. He's so stinking cute. Both of them.
And I didn't get a chance to finish my pineapple lion, so hopefully I'll do him some other time. But I'm happy with what I did create, because I don't get to draw cute, like super cute animals all that often, like just animals. So this was really fun.
Yeah, no, I had an absolute blast with this prompt, so I think we should definitely bring it back. And chat, if you have other suggestions, not looking at you, Bean, because you already sent in morbid ones. So if you have cute suggestions for us, please send them in. Also morbid ones. But yeah, definitely head over to Kristen's Instagram and follow her. Do you have any cool new stuff coming up?
I mean, I have stuff, but not any time recently. So when we get closer to, I might mention it there. But at the moment, it's just trying to get life straightened out before projects get started.
Oh, I feel that. Yeah. I feel that big time. But awesome. Yay. All right. Move me back over and do it. There's my little banana seals. Banana seals. I can't. Banana eels. So they sound like eels, which they're not. But yeah. There's my little chunky babies. Chunky banana
I like
babies.
how the stem is the flippers, like the
and I like flippers. That they have their own like spots on them. So I was trying to do like the banana speckling with their little seal spots. Oh, thank you, He Who Is Steve. We love you. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to find me, I am across the internet at a swan named Emily. All over the place, all of the things. find me there. Find me every Wednesday night over on twitch.tv/inaddpod for the recording of my podcast with Kruggles and Future X Skeleton and Tony P, who is in chat. So that's our weekly chat show. We record 3 episodes of our podcast. Catch us again. We're going to have another Doodle Crew coming up on some date, which I don't have up in front of me, but there's another one coming up. Also, as always, if you ever want to suggest any ideas or anything like that, hit us up. We've got our link tree. We've got @DoodleCrewDraw, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All of those. If you ever miss an episode of Doodle Crew and want to watch it, they all end up over on my YouTube. You can also watch Sketching Shakespeare over there, which is me and Steph talking Shakespeare, which is super fun. And also some of my crazy dance videos, which I feel like came up in conversation recently, which is very fun. But yeah, also on the Linktree, if you ever want to reach out to any artists about getting artwork, please do. These people are amazing. They create amazing artwork. So if they're open for commissions, commission them, give them your money because they're crazy talented. And I'm so happy that they do this with me. So thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you, Diana. You're my favorite chatter. Don't tell the others. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much. This was a very fun way to wind down our Sunday. Yeah, so thank you, chat. I am so excited about all the new fruit facts that I know now, and will take those into my future life. Yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time with the Doodle Crew. So bye.